They say the dead tell no tales. But the truth is the dead whisper the loudest, especially when they're not really dead. My name was Ethan Hale. A name carved into a gravestone on the edge of Willow Creek Cemetery. A name people whispered in the rain the night they buried an empty coffin. A name the world mourned. But I'm still here, alive, breathing quietly, watching the person who tried to kill me walk freely under the same sky. And tonight, everything I've hidden in the dark finally steps into the light. I remember the night it happened, colder than usual. The kind of cold that feels personal, like the world already knew what was coming. Fog wrapped itself around the small town of Arden Falls, swallowing the streetlights one by one. Shadows stretched long across the brick roads. Even the moon hid behind thick clouds, as if it didn't want to witness what was about to happen. I locked the door of my antique shop and slipped the key into my pocket. Then, footsteps. Slow, careful, measured. The kind of steps someone takes when they don't want to be heard, but want you to know it's already too late. I turned my head, but metal crashed into my skull before I could speak. A sharp, blinding pain exploded behind my eyes. My knees buckled. The world spun. Blood ran warm and fast down my cheek. I felt breath on my ear. A voice I knew. You should have minded your own business. My heart stopped. Then everything went black. When I woke up, I was slumped in the passenger seat of my own car. The engine was running. The wheels were rolling over uneven dirt. The edge of a cliff approached. Moonlight reflected off the water far below, a silver grave waiting for me. My head throbbed. My ribs screamed. I could barely see, barely breathe. But instinct is louder than pain. I shoved myself toward the door, fingers trembling, lungs burning. The car lurched closer to the cliff. I fumbled with the handle. The door swung open. Cold night air slammed against me. I fell, rolling down the wet grass just as my car launched off the cliff. My body shook. My breath stuttered. And behind me, the explosion lit the sky like a second sun. My car, my supposed coffin, burst into flames, shattering into pieces that rained down into the ocean. And that was the night Ethan Hale died. But I decided to stay dead. I barely remember the next few days. Pain does strange things to time. A fisherman found me lying on the rocks at the base of a forgotten shoreline. He carried me, unconscious, bleeding, to St. Mary's Clinic, a place so old and abandoned looking that most people didn't know it still operated. I woke up to the soft hum of fluorescent lights and the smell of disinfectant. A nurse with tired but kind eyes stood beside me. She had short brown hair, dark circles under her eyes, and a voice that felt safe. "You're lucky," she whispered. "If you had been found an hour later..." She didn't finish the sentence. She asked my name. And for the first time in my life, I lied without hesitation. "I don't remember." She looked at me for a long moment, long enough to know I wasn't telling the full truth. But she nodded. "Then we won't ask. You're safe here." Safe. The word felt foreign. Nothing in my bones felt safe. Weeks passed. Then months. My ribs healed. Stitches dissolved. But the nightmare stayed, the sound of that voice, that familiar whisper telling me I should have minded my own business. One morning, the doctor entered my room holding a small, sealed envelope. This arrived for you." I froze. No one was supposed to know I was alive. No records. No ID. No name. But someone knew. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside, a single piece of paper. 4 words. "Next time I won't miss." My blood ran cold. My breath caught in my throat. Whoever tried to kill me knew I was alive and was waiting. I left the clinic that same night. Arden Falls hadn't changed. The same quiet streets. The same coffee shop on the corner. The same clock tower humming in the wind. But my life had moved on without me. I walked through the town with a hood low over my face, every step a reminder that I no longer existed. My shop was boarded up, windows nailed shut, dust covering the sign with my name on it, like a tombstone on a building that once held everything I loved. And then I saw it, in the town square, a memorial, my memorial, a framed picture of me, flowers, candles, notes from people I hadn't spoken to in years, and standing in front of it, crying, was my brother, Michael Hale. His shoulders shook, tears streamed down his cheeks, but I knew those weren't tears for me, not real ones. I knew that voice, I knew that whisper. He was the one who hit me. He was the one who put me in that car. He was the one who tried to erase me from the world. My own brother. My breath tightened. My fists clenched. My chest burned with the kind of hurt that only blood can cause. But anger is patient. And revenge is even more patient. I watched him from the shadows. Silent. Unseen. A ghost haunting the man who murdered me. And that's when the truth revealed itself. A truth deeper, darker than I imagined. I broke into my old shop the next night. Every creak of the wooden floor whispered memories I wasn't ready to hear. Behind a false wall in the back room I found ledgers. Stacks of them. Numbers. Transactions. Illegal shipments. Artifacts worth more than I ever realized. My shop. My pride. My livelihood. Michael had been laundering money through it. And I had discovered the truth just days before he tried to kill me. I felt my pulse pounding in my ears. My fingers shook as I turned each page. This wasn't just betrayal. This was calculated. This was planned. But then, something worse. Michael wasn't alone. A woman kept appearing in the records. A signature. A symbol. A name whispered in the darker corners of Arden Falls. Vivian Crow. A woman with power so quiet it felt invisible. A strategist. A puppeteer pulling strings from the shadows. Michael wasn't the mastermind. He was a pawn. And she was the queen who wanted me erased. I didn't know it yet, but Vivian Crow was the beginning of a war I never asked to fight. And I would fight it alone. From the shadows. From rooftops. From alleyways. From places the living never look. Because as far as the world knew, I was dead. I watched them for weeks. Michael, and the woman who owned him. Vivian Crow. Tall, sharp, elegant, the kind of presence that didn't need to raise her voice to be terrifying. Her heels clicked across pavement like a metronome counting down to someone's death. Her eyes scanned every corner, calculating, cold, brilliant. She met with Michael late at night behind the old mill, near the docks, in the abandoned parking lot beside the freeway. Always in the shadows. Always pulling him deeper into a world he couldn't escape from. I tracked them silently. Every step, every whisper, every envelope exchanged beneath the dim orange glow of streetlights. Michael looked smaller around her, nervous, afraid, controlled. And for the first time since the night of my death, I wondered if I had understood everything wrong. But I couldn't trust that thought. Not yet. Not when my skull still ached from the pipe he used. Not when my blood had stained the inside of my car the night he tried to end me. So I stayed in the shadows, a ghost haunting the living. Night after night, I sabotaged everything Vivian built. Shipments disappeared. Encrypted messages were rerouted. Her accounts were wiped clean. Her men turned against her, each one convinced another was working with the police. And as the chaos grew, so did the fear on Michael's face. He wasn't afraid of Vivian anymore. He was afraid of me. I left a single message on his doorstep, a scrap of paper carrying the same words he whispered to me the night he tried to kill me. You should have minded your own business. When he read it, his hands shook violently. He stumbled backward, eyes wide, breath thin, heart racing. He knew. He finally knew. Ethan Hale was not as dead as he hoped. Days later, I found him at my own grave. He sat on the cold ground with his back against the tombstone, holding a bottle, tears carving silent tracks down his cheeks. I watched from behind a tree hidden by darkness. At first he said nothing. He just stared at the stone, at my name, breathing in jagged, broken gasps. Then he whispered, softly, painfully, "Ethan, I'm sorry." I felt something in my chest twist tightly. He took another breath, shaky and torn. "I didn't want to hurt you," he said, wiping his face with the back of his sleeve. "I didn't even want to be part of any of this. Vivian, she threatened my daughter." My heart froze. Daughter? I didn't know he had a child. He had kept that secret from everyone, even me. "She told me if I didn't do what she said," he whispered, "my little girl would disappear. And no one would ever find her." His voice cracked. His shoulders trembled. He wasn't lying. "I tried to warn you," he said, clutching the bottle. "You were getting too close. Too curious. You were going to expose her. And she gave me one choice." He swallowed hard, breath stuttering. "Kill you or lose her." My throat tightened. The world around me blurred. Everything I believed, everything that kept me alive these past months, every rage-filled night, every moment of cold, calculated revenge. It all cracked, splintered by a truth I wasn't prepared to hear. But truth doesn't erase pain. And it doesn't erase betrayal. I stepped out from the shadows. He froze. Slowly he turned. When he saw me alive, his jaw dropped. His lips trembled. And then he fell to his knees, tears pouring anew. "Ethan, please. I'm so sorry." I felt the wind push between us, cold and sharp. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. I walked toward him, each step heavy, slow, filled with years of brotherhood and months of betrayal. When I stood before him, his breath caught. My voice came out low, quiet, the kind of quiet that carries more weight than shouting ever could. "You should apologize to the living, not the dead." He collapsed forward, sobbing. I didn't forgive him. Not then. Not there. But I listened. There was only one path left now, one final step before the nightmare ended. Vivian Crowe had to fall. Her headquarters sat on a cliffside, a mansion overlooking the crashing waves below. On the night we went after her, storm winds slammed against the walls, rattling the windows with every howl of thunder. Michael walked beside me, clutching his side as if bracing himself for what awaited us inside. We didn't speak. Words were too small for what stood between us. We pushed open the heavy doors. The air inside was warm, still, suffocating. Vivian stood near the fireplace, flames dancing behind her like a crown of fire. She didn't look afraid. She looked amused. "Well," she said softly, tilting her head, "the dead walk again. How poetic." She raised her hand. A signal. Guards flooded the room. Everything exploded into chaos. Gunshots cracked through the air. Glass shattered. The storm outside roared in answer. I moved through the room with a clarity I didn't know I possessed. Ducking, striking, fighting with every ounce of desperation I had carried since the night I crawled out of that burning car. Michael fought too, fiercely, protecting me as if each punch could rewrite the past. For a moment, it felt like we were brothers again. Then Vivian reached for a gun on the mantel. I lunged forward, but she aimed at me first. Her finger tightened on the trigger. And then, a single sound tore through the storm. Not the gunshot. Michael's voice. "No." He threw himself between us. The gun fired. The sound echoed through the mansion, then was swallowed by the thunder outside. Michael staggered. The bullet hit his shoulder, then his chest. He collapsed into my arms. His breath was shallow. Warm blood soaked through my shirt. He looked up at me, eyes glassy, voice faint. "Take care of her." A trembling exhale escaped him. "My daughter." "Then, promise me." My throat closed. Tears burned behind my eyes. I nodded. "I promise." A small, broken smile touched his lips. Then he went still. Something cold and ancient cracked inside me. I stood, slowly, quietly, turning toward Vivian. She raised the gun again, but there was no fear in her eyes. Only arrogance. Only certainty. She didn't understand. She didn't realize I had already died once. Nothing she could do to me now would ever compare. One shot. Silent. Precise. Vivian Crow fell. And the world finally exhaled. The storm cleared by sunrise. Michael's daughter was found hours later, hidden, frightened, but alive. I buried my brother next to the grave that used to belong to me. People still visit that old stone with my name on it. They leave flowers, whisper prayers, tell stories of who I used to be. But Ethan Hale can never return to the living. My death became my protection, my freedom, my curse. Sometimes late at night I walk through Arden Falls, unseen, unheard, a ghost in the place I once called home. And sometimes I stop at the edge of the cemetery. I stand before my own grave. I close my eyes. I breathe. And I remember the life I lost. I died the night my brother betrayed me. I died again the night he saved me. Somewhere between those two deaths, I became something else. Not a man. Not anymore. A shadow. A whisper. A story told in the spaces between heartbeats. Because the dead tell the most powerful stories. And mine has only just begun. You said,